All right. So I wanted to just do really quick, just kind of an overview of how to make your Instagram a little more eye appealing, where Instagram is kind of like where it's at these days. And I know that it can be overwhelming with all the different social medias and Facebook, and I wanted to give you guys some tips of how to make it, some simple tips, just so that you can start focusing on these things, as you're posting, and things to keep in mind as you're posting. Over the years, a lot of us have learned things to do when you're posting on social media along with Facebook. And so that way, you just want people to, when they come to your newsfeed or come to whatever they're looking at, see your things and want to stay and want to follow you versus just, seeing a few things and then leaving. So I'm just going to share some images that I put together. And then if you guys have any questions as well, either put them in the chat or at the end. Let's see, actually. Well, I think everyone's muted. All right, so you want to think about that you're selling like a lifestyle and then you're not selling a product, because when you sell the lifestyle of what you're doing, no matter what you're selling, people are going to want to join you. So really think about that when you're posting, that you don't have to be blasting what it is you're drinking or what exactly the program is that you're doing. It's really about like sharing the lifestyle that you're living. And then people are going to see that and be like, oh, I want that. I want to feel that way. I want to be able to pay off, pay my car payment every month or whatever it is that you're sharing. So really think about when you're making your pictures and writing your posts that they're very intentional, because this is your storefront. And so when people come to it, they have I think it's 12, maybe not even 9 pictures that they see when they come to Instagram, and you want them to get who you are. If it's all the same thing, like 5 pictures of food, they're not going to understand it. So really think of 5 things that make you who you are. Health and fitness is obviously one of them. But there's 4 other things that I'm sure that you love about yourself, whether it's that you're a mom or whatever your other passions are, what your hobbies are, if you have children. And think about all the other aspects of coaching, personal development, things like that. So really just hone in on 5 things that you love to talk about, even that aren't coaching related. What things did you talk about before you were a coach? What makes you who you are? So you want to focus on those 5 things and just kind of rotate through so that people understand who you are. And when they follow you, they know what they're going to get. So it's not super random. You can go to someone's newsfeed, and if it's not appealing, or it's there's lots of videos or just random quotes, you probably aren't going to follow the person because you don't understand what they're all about. What? So you want to be in majority of the photos should be of you. So if they see 12 photos, 9 of them should be you, and not just selfies. So really try to start taking pictures of yourself that's people can see what you're doing. If people can see more of you, then they're going to be more engaged. You're going to, if I can see someone's kitchen, I might be like, oh my gosh, I love your backsplash, or those are the countertops I want. What are they made out of? And people are going to start asking questions when they can see more of what's in your background. If they can see a picture of you and your kids together, people like to see all of that. People are nosy. They like to see into the real life of people. So if it's always just a close-up of your face, they're not going to understand about you. Use the timer on your phone. That's pretty much how I do all of my photos. I do have a couple tripods, but usually where I am, I don't have them with me. So I just use the timer on my phone. I know that all the iPhones have that. You can go to photos, and there's a timer for 3 seconds, 10 seconds, and use that. And then just figure out what you like for editing. So you want to have very similar things. So for me, this is even something I'm still working on. Colors, branding, different filters that I like. So I generally use a similar type of filter. You can probably tell, I like the color pink. I try to have my pictures bright, but that's just who I am. There are girls that hate the color pink. There are girls that have beautiful Instagrams that are very muted and have almost a dull, darker look to them, but they're beautiful and very eye-catching. So there's one app that is called VSCO. I don't know if it's Visco. It's $5 where you can save your pre-filters. So you can just always use the same filters on your photo. So just play around with it. You don't want them to be overly filtered so that they look filtered, but you always want them to be bright and just appealing. So this is one that I was just saying, Amber Lanier. This is beautiful. And she just has the same type of look. It's blues, greens, blacks, and she has that same look to all of her photos through her whole page. And it's very eye-catching, even though it's more so like on the darker side, I feel like, but very beautiful. So there's a few apps that you can use to preview your Instagram. So there's an app called Preview app, and you can upload your photos and just rearrange them. So if you have photos like I'm going to talk about, you can have multiple photos that you don't need to be posting like live. You don't have to say like, oh, I need to post on Instagram. I'm going to take a picture now. You can use photos that you have in your feed. So take advantage of like when you have great lighting or you have things to take pictures of, that you take multiple of them and just have them in your phone. And then if you have them, then you can use this app, arrange them to how you like it so that you can at least see how you like them arranged, and then you can work on the captions. So in addition to color, you do want to alternate between close-ups, selfies, full body, so that when you see it, it's not just like 3 selfies in a row and 2 pictures of food. So really change it up so that it is appealing. And Planoly is another good one that people like for scheduling your posts. So again, even if you have 5 posts for the week, you can post 1 a day, see how they look, and then put the captions in, and then they'll schedule whenever you want them to. So you don't even have to be worrying about it in real time, because we all know life gets crazy. And there are times that you're like, oh my gosh, it's already 8 o'clock at night and I forgot to post on Instagram today. And then you feel like you're rushing. So that's definitely a good one to use as well. So always use natural light when you can. Find a window. If I have a smoothie that I like, or if I made eggs and toast and I have fruit, I always bring it over to my table. It's next to the window. I usually try to have like a vase of flowers, something in it so that it's pretty and eye appealing. So always try to take pictures in natural light. If you have a day that the lighting is awesome, you might want to take 3 pictures in 3 different outfits, or even take multiple in the same outfit. And those are something you can use over time. So again, you have these pictures that you can just keep using so that when you, if you want to plan them out or schedule them, then you have them always in your phone. Have a folder in your phone that says Beachbody, and then you have ones that you can use, or maybe you'll section them out into your 5 brands of who you are: food, selfies, whatever your 5 are, and that way that they're organized in your phone, so you always have something to go to. So for quotes, I personally feel like if you are a person that wants to do, I'm sure you've gone to some Instagrams and there's people that have like pictures and then all quotes and then pictures, and it's very strategically placed and it looks very consistent. And if you're going to choose to do that, have them be very eye appealing. Have them be, they might be all white with black font, or maybe they're all black with like a pink font, or they all have to be very similar so that you get that consistency look. If they're all super random quotes, then it's not going to get that same appeal that people like. And then aside from that, I feel like if you find a quote that you really like, use a picture of you and either put the quote over it or use the quote in the caption. Because for the most part, people aren't going to follow you for quotes. They're not going to go to your Instagram and see if they see 3 quotes, they're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to follow her. I could find that quote on Pinterest. But if you put a picture of you and then you write the quote, it's going to resonate with the quote and why you're posting a picture of yourself. And then they start to understand who you are. Or if you put the quote over, if it's a motivational quote and it was a tough workout that day that you had, and it's a picture of you doing a push-up, then it's going to make more sense. So quotes sometimes people do because they're like, oh crap, I have nothing to post today and I'm just going to go find a motivational post. But like, it's better off to just have like a few pictures of you that you can use so that when you need a picture, you have it, versus just like finding a random quote. So the only time I feel like this does work is if you're going to be consistent with it, where you do like every 3 photos is a quote or every 6 photos is a quote, but that takes planning as well. If you're doing that and then your next one's supposed to be a quote and then you post a picture, then